I'd like to show some videos highlighting the surgical management of advanced PDR. I'll skip all my slides because as I go on showing the video, I'll just try to enumerate few aspects. Thanks. There's a case of vitreous hemorrhage, and the first step to tackle a case of vitreous hemorrhage in a case of PDR is to find the correct plane and make a nick in the posterior highlight phase so that you have access to the retrohighlight space and tackle the membranes as we go along. So after having circumferentially made a hole in the posterior highlight phase, we come to straight away tackle the pre-retinal blood is being vacuum suctioned by flute needle, and the same flute needle can be used to find the plane, because that's the key in diabetic retinopathy management, in surgical management, to find the correct plane between the posterior cortical posterior highlight phase and the retina. So as you can see, there is more of a pronounced proliferation in the disc and near about that area. So I have isolated the vascular epicenters. These two are the vascular epicenters you can see. We have isolated them, trimmed them down almost to the level of the ILM, because and suddenly you see a disc bleed. So these are tricky situations, how to manage the disc bleed. You put more PFCL, raise the bottle height, or in modern machines you increase the infusion pressure, and after waiting for a few minutes, the bleeding stops. And then do a fluid exchange. Here there was no break, so you can put gas safely. Oil is used only in the case of very large breaks which are not very posterior. You have to wait patiently just to see that the bleeding has completely stopped. Another case, lot of fibrous proliferation with the premacular hemorrhage. Same principle. I am using triamcinolone acetonide to highlight the vitreous. You truncate the whole posterior highlight phase. You see, I made an opening posterior highlight phase and I am extending it. The idea is to isolate the membranes, the fibrovascular proliferations centrally, so that while you are tackling them, you are not creating any tug on the vitreous base. Then you start concentrating on sometimes the PFCL bubble helps to dissect the spaces, and then you isolate the membranes, the vascular epicenters, or you peel them off if they are fragile. Now, pre-treatment with Avastin goes a long way in helping, reduces the bleeding, shortens the surgical time, and also helps in reducing the rate of post-operative hemorrhages. So, to cauterize, it is very important to perform bimanual maneuver like with a flute needle and a cautery, so that you can see the bleeding vessels. Here I am tackling the vitreous base, which is very important. Actually, there is a concept now growing that we are only tackling the posterior part of the vitreous base. The anterior part of the vitreous base still remains to be tackled. This concept came about after the advent of the endoscopic assisted vitrectomies for PDRs. So anyway, the vitreous base has to be thoroughly shaved off. Another maneuver with a lighted bimanual maneuver, lighted forceps with a scissors, vertical scissors. We are performing segmentation and also peeling. The modern day cutters, the tips are very close. The port is very close to the tip of the cutter, so that you can work very close to the retinal surface. Another case of vitreous hemorrhage. I prepared the pot pour is to make it interesting, to show different situations. Same principle, creating a hole in the posterior highlight phase. Here there was a gush of retrohighlight blood suddenly, because maybe the laser was not done appropriately, non-laser dye. So you expect a lot of and here also it's critical sometimes to peel off the entire fibrovascular tissue so as to prevent rebleeds and reproliferations. And then you watch, and while reducing the bottle height, to watch for rebleeds. This is my own technique. I try to, around the infusion cannula, I try to eliminate as much of the vitreous as possible. For band manual, it's very important to insert the chandelier, which I do mostly at 12 o'clock. And then the bimanual techniques which are being shown with the forceps and scissors. In the case of total retinal detachment tractional with a big fibrovascular proliferation, and once you have access to the proper plane between the fibrovascular tissue and the retina, then after having delaminated, you can eat up the rest of the tissue with the cutter, go as close to the retina as you want, put some PFCL, settle the retina, do annual laser, and then oil or gas, as the case may be. Another case with a big TRD. Here I am using two other instruments, forceps, another combination of forceps and scissors. Depending on the situation, you can either use forceps, scissors, forceps, cutter, because cutters can work instead of scissors very effectively, as I was showing in the last part of the video. Another 2-3 minutes left. So in a detached retina, it's very imperative to trim the vitreous as far as possible. We have already encroached onto the last session. I'm thankful to Dr. Natarajan for allowing me to show my videos at least. So you see, you can go, because the retina hardly moves nowadays. In the case of taut posterior hyaloid membrane, it's very essential to peel off the epiretinal membrane of the macular surface so as to settle the macular edema. Sorry for the decentration, because the mind is always not on the centration while doing surgery. So there is no doubt, when there is tractional macular edema, you have to operate. So here is another case of diabetic idiopathic macular hole with epiretinal membrane, in which you lift the posterior cortical gel of the surface of the macula, then peel the epiretinal membranes, stain the ILM with a Brilliant dye, and then do a ILM peeling. Here I am doing a ILM peeling. So preferable to do a peel from arcade to arcade as opposed to an idiopathic macular hole, but you don't have to go that far. As much as ILM should be peeled from arcade to arcade. Last part, forceps cutter combination. I have created a iatrogenic macular, iatrogenic retinal hole outside the arcade. So that's a part of the game. And find the correct plane, then go in with the cutter, and then eat up the tissue. See, hardly there is bleeding. A lot of laser has been already done, and laser, mind you, is a permanent method of bringing down the VEGF levels, as opposed to the other methods. And we had used preoperative Avastin also in this case. Thank you so much for your kind attention.